front, the failure to deal with the reality.
We want to show a picture to our audience of a man that they probably do not know, but he's extremely well known in national security circles and certainly in the military, and that's retired four-star General Jack Keane, who became kind of a subcontractor for the president and for Vice President Cheney.
Yeah, a shadow general. And it got to he is one of the mentors for General Petraeus, the Iraq commander, and he would go to Iraq and find out what's going on and then come for an hour or two and give a back-channel report to Dick Cheney in his home or in his office. And a year ago, things were so bad that the president used General Keane to send a message of support to General Petraeus. I asked the president about this. Why did you do this? You have a Secretary of Defense, you have a central commander who's in the chain of command. And he said, well, I wanted Dave to know, Dave Petraeus, that he will have exactly what he needs. That was a year ago. Bob Gates, 10 months, had been Secretary of Defense, did not know that this was going on. One of the challenges the next president is going to have is to fix a very dysfunctional, broken relationship, tragically so, I believe, between the civilian side and the military side.
General Petraeus will be coming home next week. He has had, as we showed to Mayor Giuliani, kind of mixed reviews for the surge at this time. He's always a cautious man. He will not use the word victory or winning in describing what's going on.
That's right, and there's a reason for that. Look, go to 40,000 feet on this. We have one of the biggest a massive land army in the middle of the Middle East, 140,000 troops. We've had them there for 5.5 years. Number's been more or less constant. The general on the ground, Petraeus, says this war is not over. Iraq always hands surprises, and who knows where this is going. And the idea that somehow there's victory here. When I asked the president and talked to him about this for hours, he used the word win a couple of times, and then he immediately pulled back and, as you suggest, uses the word succeed. And at the end, I said, what are you going to say to Obama or McCain when they come in here as your successor? And he paused and he said, I'm going to say to them, don't let it fail. Diminished expectation, a sense he has that it's on the right track, but boy, this war is so close to, General Petraeus says it, fragile and reversible.
We're going to end up with a conversation the president had with Connie Rice on the porch at the ranch in Crawford, Texas in December of 2006. I think you probably have to do it, Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice replied, but talking about the surge. But this is going to be one of the most consequential decisions of all time. You are probably, because of the things that you've chosen to do, one of the 4 or 5 most consequential presidents, maybe in our history, certainly of the last 100 years, but maybe in our history. And you have to think about how you're going to do this and hold the country together, because consequential presidents cannot be divisive. Now, 2 years later, his poll numbers remain very low.
And they remain low, I think, not because the war went badly for so long, but because the public realized they weren't getting the straight story. They could see on television and read in the newspapers that it wasn't occurring. And this idea of divisiveness is so important. At one point, the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, who she does not have a good relationship with Bush, but she actually, in private, March 2007, reached out to him and said, can't we reach some sort of common ground? Can't we work together? And he said, my views are known and I've decided.